2 years ago, I started going to the gym because I thought that building muscle would solve all my problems with girls. I wouldn't have to worry about it. Girls would just come up to me, girls would just slide into my DMs, and I would finally be happy. 2 years later, not the case. Have I had girls slide into my DMs? Yeah, I have, but they only want one thing. And I haven't had people coming up to me in the street and being like, wow, your physique is amazing. Because I've built a pretty decent physique, but it's not, I'm only 2 years in. It's not an insane physique. It's just very lean muscular, I would say. And by this point, I've realized going to the gym won't get you girls. Building a great physique won't get you girls. Now, I'm not saying that more girls won't notice you, but getting girls is way more than just looks and physique and muscle. Because imagine you've spent these 2 years, as I have, building a physique in the gym, but you've not spoke to anyone in the gym, you've not made any new friends, you've not built your social skills. Let's say you actually get to a level where you start attracting girls, yet you're socially inept. You can't string a conversation together without going, but if you start talking to a girl, you absolutely freak out. It's just not a good combination to have. It won't make sense. It will make you even less attractive. Being a muscular guy who's unconfident and unsure of himself and doesn't know how to speak to girls, sees them as a different species to his own. Come on, man. Because this is what happens with a lot of gym bros. They take themselves way too seriously. They feel like they just need to lock in. They put their headphones on and they don't want to speak to anyone. And I've been able to start some great conversations in the gym, and it's so easier. It's so easy than what it makes out to be. I literally started a conversation with a guy because I complimented him from doing incline bench press with 27.5 kg dumbbells. I didn't even say words. I just looked at him, nodded, and put my thumbs up. And then he's like, "Oh, what's up?" And I said, "Oh, that's very impressive." Crazy. But how are you going to be able to get girls? First of all, you need to stop this obsession with getting girls. I know you're a young dude or whoever you are. I know that that's what you put a lot of your self-worth into, and you have bouts of loneliness. I'm the same. But if you're obsessed by it, it's not healthy. And it's going to have the opposite effect of what you want. You'd think if you put more thought into getting girls, then you get more girls. But it's actually the opposite, way of thinking. If you put more thought into getting girls, you will get less girls. It's like a negative feedback loop. You become this sort of cretin that's obsessed with getting girls, only goes to the gym, stays indoors, goes on Reddit, listens to all these black pill, red pill posts, instead of going out and just living your life, building social experiences. And the gym is great for that. I've made a video before about the social enrichment that I've got from the gym. But I did start to get girls. I did start the gym in order to get girls, and I have attracted girls with my physique, but it's not going to be the source of everything. Because there's guys that look like me, there's guys that are skinnier than me, and I hear that they go on a night out and they've gone 5 for 5. They've bagged 5 girls, every single girl they've gone up to. Yet they've got, an average body weight. They've got no muscle definition. They dress, fairly okay, all these other variables. But it's the confidence. It's the way that they carry themselves. People are often your social mirror. The way that someone is interacting with you is often a reflection of how you interact with them. Sure, an interaction can start off awkward, But if you stop being awkward, if you give them chance to express themselves and ease themselves into the conversation, then it becomes smooth sailing. And no amount of muscle is going to help you with that. Again, of course, you might be able to stick out to people and people notice you and you might get compliments. But what are you going to do when people come up to you and you don't know what to say? I've had this experience. I've had girls come up to me and compliment me, not because of my physique, but because of this karaoke thing I did in college, and hundreds of people were there and they were impressed. I had girls coming up to me saying, wow, I appreciate you, wow, you're so confident. I was literally there for about 10 seconds. I said like, oh, thank you. And then I was like, oh, I've got to go. You know, and they were fit girls as well. I know this is a whole other thing, but my gosh, I just would want to slap past Benjamin in the face for such a fool he was. But social skills are way more important than building a physique. Now, I'm absolutely still go to the gym, still build muscle, still see what your body is capable of. That is fantastic. But don't become one of these guys who goes to school, goes to work, gym, goes home, eats food. Oh, look at my protein. And that's it. Like, you'll just become this jacked weirdo. This jacked, socially inept weirdo. And it's, you know, it's so ironic because the gym is a great place to socialize. And people don't utilize that. But ultimately, all of this can be solved. All of these problems can be solved if you stop obsessing over girls. If you realize that it makes you more unattractive, and you're wasting valuable brain points. You're wasting the power that your brain has that you could be directing to the gym or building a social circle or working on your purpose. The girl that you're obsessing over, maybe it's one girl in particular who you have a crush on in school, at work, maybe it's your gym crush, whatever. If you think about how often you think about her in a day, right? Maybe she pops into your mind, once every hour, maybe even more, 5 times an hour. Maybe you spend long periods of half an hour just thinking about her. Let's think about how much of her thoughts, how many of her thoughts are going towards you. Probably not even one. You might pop into your head, but she's probably thinking, why didn't this guy just come up and talk to me? And then she'll go on with the rest of her day. And that shows you shouldn't obsess over it. You shouldn't obsess over this girl. You shouldn't worry about going to the gym to build a great physique and getting girls. You need to find a purpose. You need to find a vocation. You need to work on your ikigai. What you can do that you find purposeful and enjoy for the rest of your life and make money from it. And then you'll get girls. But again, I emphasize the social skills you need. There's no point being jacked and ripped. Wait, jacked and rich. There we go. Words are too similar. Jacked and rich, having great muscle and loads of money. If you stumble and stutter over your words, if you have such a limited vocabulary, if you don't know how to interact with people, there's no point building this empire with a feeble arsenal. There's no point building yourself up if you don't have the tools to do so. If you only have one thing going for you. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Make sure you like, comment, share, subscribe. Use all the tools available to you that YouTube gives you to help spread my message. I'll see you in the next one. God bless. And as always, you take very good care of yourself.